Just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Zombieland Saga Episode 3. So yeah, it's been a little while since we've gotten to Zombieland Saga, as with a lot of things, mainly because of the holidays, and what's going on with my hair up there. But we're back. Last we left off, there was the rap battle episode, which, as I had said before, was the big thing I had known about going into this, the big thing I had been, I had seen clips of here and there shared throughout social media. And as I noted, there's a couple other things, like Lily being trans and everything, but for the most part, I am still blind. But I have no idea where this is going. And the last episode got quite a bit of dislikes, and some of my videos get dislikes, and I can never figure out why. Like, even videos where I'm, like, wholly positive on whatever I'm reacting to. But I think the reason for the last one, the last Zombieland Saga video getting so many dislikes, was because I shit-talked the manager guy. I can't remember his name. But I was, like, really, like, kind of trash-talking him in a way. Mentioning how I couldn't stand him and, like, asking, am I supposed to hate him? Stuff like that. And my thoughts haven't changed, by the way. I still hate him. And I'm still wondering if we're supposed to. Because if not, then there's something clearly wrong with this. Because he's completely detestable. I mean, maybe in future episodes he becomes better. Maybe some kind of information comes to light and makes him a little more sympathetic or whatnot. But as of currently, there's nothing positive about him, in my eyes. He's a complete asshole. He seems to be doing this purely for selfish reasons. And we don't even know all the reasons. We only know the, like, bare bones of what he's telling us. Also, I think I just got a message. Sorry if there's a notification sound. But either way, it's like, yeah. I just, there's no reason to like him at this point. The only reason I could see that anybody could like him at this point is just pure enjoyment from the fact that he's funny. That's the only thing that I could see, because otherwise, there's no positive traits to him. Meanwhile, the girls, on the other hand, are likable, for the most part. Our main character is pretty likable. She's nice, she's kind, she's funny. Our other girls, the little bit we know about them and have seen from them so far. The one girl who's still, like, kind of feral, I guess you could say. She's hilarious. Like, I don't even know if that's, like, fully intentional for her to be, like, strictly comic relief at this point, but that's what it is. The only big thing with her is the mystery surrounding, like, why she's still like this, and if she does have connection to the manager, which was my big theory. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I am interested to get to more of this. I wouldn't say super excited or anything. Not like with other shows like RWBY or My Hero Academia. But I am definitely interested. I don't see, like, the huge appeal and everything that a lot of people did so far. It's unique, it's interesting, it's funny, but I don't see it having that big of an appeal. I think people very heavily but then again, I think people overrate mostly everything. If I'm being honest, and not just with anime, with cartoons, with games, with a lot of stuff. I think people tend to overrate things that they love. And I could say that I am one of those people who do that. Do I overrate things I love? Oh, all the time. But the thing is, it is subjective. So it's like while it seems overrated to other people, to you, it does have that amount of interest, that amount of excitement. So while it seems overrated to me, it's like I'm not saying that the people who do legitimately enjoy this that much are wrong or lying or anything. They truly like it that much, and that's awesome. I just personally find it to be not that good. It's good. It's enjoyable so far. I don't have a reason to like drop it or anything, but yeah, I definitely think people are overrating it. So yeah, I guess we'll have to see where it goes in the future and hope for the best. I'm wondering if they're going to keep switching up their music styles because that would be interesting. We've already had death metal and now we've had rap. What if like every time they perform, it's just a completely different style of music? That would actually be like a really fascinating decision to make, and I think it would be really funny to do it that way, to where they never perform the same genre of song again. It's like, okay, they perform death metal, they'll never perform that again. They performed rap, they'll never perform that again. Let's say next they do like pop music, never perform that again. It's like it's one and done for every genre of music. And there's so many genres, so it's not like they'd have trouble keeping that up for an entire season. Um, I'm just I just think that would be fun. A really funny idea to do with this. Um, but yeah, yeah, we're gonna learn more about these other characters as we continue on, and we're going to get to like kind of see our characters connect with each other. Because right now we've had definitely two of them connect a lot more. Our main girl and then the one who's I think she was part of a motorcycle gang. And by the way, I will not remember most of their names. Just saying. I'm not great with names as it is. I am not going to remember most of these characters' names. I remember Lily simply because I do have that connection that with being trans, and it sticks in my head easier because of that. But like these other characters, I want to say the main character's name is Sakura because I think I was connecting that to Naruto before. I'm not confident on that though at all, but I think her name was Sakura. I guess we'll see. Um, but if I were to say like a favorite character I'd have, it would definitely be the main character so far. But that is mostly because we don't know much about the other characters yet. Um, the only characters we really know about at this point are the main character, the motorcycle chick, and the manager. They're the only ones that have had real focus. A couple of the other girls had some focus in the last episode, but it was not as much as I feel we need to really grasp them as characters yet. Um, really, those three were the only ones to talk about. Oh, and one thing I have found out, I guess this is a spoiler, but I'm not really like upset by this one because it's so minute. It's so small of a spoiler. Apparently that one cop who was in the first two episodes, apparently he is recurring. He does keep coming back throughout the entire series. He is a recurring character. He does keep coming in contact with the girls. Apparently that's like a running gag. I don't know like all the context behind how it keeps happening or anything. I did find out unfortunately that he does keep coming back. Um, It's just something I write on social media, just randomly, basically. Because it's like someone's still talking, some people are still talking about Zombieland Saga. Um, I mean, I guess since there is a second season coming, it makes sense. Um, I don't even know when that's coming. Is that next season? It's sometime this year. I'm not 100% sure when. Either way, I'm getting distracted. Um, so yeah, we're going to get on with this and hope for the best. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. That was easily the weakest episode of the show so far. For multiple reasons. One, it really hammered in how much I really don't like, what's his name, Tatsumi? The manager. I mean, yeah, I was admittedly thinking about it beforehand because of what I said in the pre-thoughts and everything, but, like, I don't know, he just seemed especially terrible in this one. And the fact that he really doesn't help them out with anything and just, like, kind of tells them, you're doing this, go, and, like, leaves it completely up to them, and then the fact that he, like, equates being alive to basically just being an idol for them, that if they're not being an idol, they have no reason to be alive. Which, I mean, technically you could say yes, because that is why he brought them back. But at the same time, it's extremely horrible to say something like that to someone. And it's just... But besides him, moving on from him, because I just don't want to talk about him, the episode focused a lot on, I guess, self-confidence and wanting to do this. They showed that they were unsure about unsure about this entire thing, that they didn't really want to do it, that they were afraid to do it, that because of the short time they had specifically in this situation, that they wouldn't be able to pull it off. And in the end, they kind of had to gain the confidence to be able to, especially the two veterans, who had to gain the confidence to be able to join in when normally they were like lone wolves and just really kind of not wanting to do this. And I'm fine with that kind of idea for a story. I just don't feel like it was as properly executed, because I never felt like they were really that against it. When you do this kind of story, you have to make them really feel like they're against it to like a complete level. To the point where they're not doing anything, they're ignoring everyone else, they're just completely against it. Like in this case, maybe having them constantly try to escape or leave, or like not even be in the van there, by having them be there at all, like showed that they were at least to some level willing to cooperate. And it doesn't hammer in the point as well because of this. On top of that, I obviously talked about it during the reaction, but I gotta mention it again, that shitty CGI. The animation in this, the art and animation in this series is normally pretty good. It's not like the best necessarily, but it's pretty good on average. But that sudden change to CGI during the performance was so jarring. It really just completely took me out of the immersion. And the fact that it switched back to the normal animation a couple times during the performance, like when Sakura was showing, again, like she forgot the lyrics and she was worried and everything. When it like focused on her, it went back to the normal animation, but then it went right back into that really shitty CGI. Like, as I said in the reaction, CGI in anime is fine. Even an anime that not isn't normally CGI, but it has to be executed well. It has to feel more natural, or it has to be like a showcase of something being out of the ordinary, like some kind of evil army being portrayed in CG while nothing else is, would kind of give this eerie, creepy feeling to them. But something like this, showing a single performance in a really jarringly bad CGI, I mean, maybe they were trying to make some kind of point on bad CGI in anime, or some kind of statement, but it didn't work, and it just came across as really jarring and immersion breaking, as I said. And it just completely brought down my interest in this episode to pretty much zero. At that point, I just didn't care anymore. I finished it just because I didn't want to like stop watching in the middle of an episode. And I'm not saying that my interest in the series as a whole has gone down to zero. I'm not saying I'm going to drop this series because of that. But that really ruined a lot of my interest in it. It really hurt this series for me. And again, normally I've stood up for this kind of thing. But again, when it's done this poorly, and it just completely breaks the immersion and the interest that much, I mean, I just can't help how it makes me feel. I can't help that it makes me feel that negative towards it. It's not something I'm consciously choosing to feel. That's just how I feel after seeing that. And again, I'm going to continue to give this shots, but if it continues to do shit like that, that is a deal breaker for me. So I'm really hoping that it doesn't. I'm really hoping that was like a one-time thing, just some kind of statement or gag they wanted to do. Because if they keep doing that shit, I will be dropping this. I can tell you that right now. Because it's like, in the first 2 episodes, they didn't do that. So it's like, it just feels so out of place, especially because of that. And I've said before that story and characters are the more important thing when it comes to any kind of media. I've noted how story, characters, entertainment, all of that is more important than art and animation will ever be. But I'm sorry, there is a certain point where art and animation can just throw you out of the interest of watching a series. There is a point where it just gets that bad that it's distracting and annoying, and just it makes it unenjoyable. And again, it's especially jarring when it's not normal for the series, when the series is otherwise well animated. It was so bad. I've seen PS1 games that have better animation than that. But yeah, compared to the first 2 episodes, I really just hated this one. Because of those kind of reasons, there wasn't enough good to counterbalance it either. Probably the best part, the part I actually liked the most, was Saki being extremely, almost out of character with the little girl at the end. Because Saki's like this tough biker gang girl who's like really aggressive and just over the top and everything. But like then with the little girl at the end, she's so happy and nice and kind and thankful and all. And it just felt really, it felt a little like out of character for her. But at the same time, it was probably my favorite part of this episode because it was so because it was so gentle and nice and genuine. It felt, despite it somehow felt so genuine, despite being kind of out of character for her. But that was the best part of the episode, and that's honestly an issue because it was such a minor part. It was such a little bit. It didn't even last long. I really do hope that this was just an outlier because even some other great shows have outlier episodes that aren't that good. I'm really hoping this is one of those and that it gets better. Because if this is the quality I can expect from future episodes, I am not gonna enjoy this. I really want it to get better. I'm hoping it's gonna get better. Um, but yeah, moving on. I don't know exactly when we're gonna get to the next episode. Right now, I do want to focus a little more on Ancient Magus' Bride because I want to finish that so I can get to Owl House, which is its replacement. But I'm gonna still try to get to this. I'm gonna try to get to other stuff as well. And we'll kind of just go from there and see where it takes us. But in the meantime, tell me your thoughts on this episode down in the comments below, and I'm sure that my dislike of this episode and various things within it is probably going to draw a bit of ire, and I'm sure that there's going to be quite a few dislikes on this video because people seem to act like this show can do nothing wrong. Um, but in all seriousness, tell me your thoughts down below, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.